A Hexus assassination squad materialized in the center of the vineyard ceremony, weapons raised and charged. The guests screamed, chairs toppled, and Senator Velcor's security details scrambled for cover.
She's not even panicking.
Senator Velcor, surrender or we open fire.
Amid the screams and falling chairs, Patricia Hartley glanced once at her tablet and walked directly toward the six-armed aliens, her heels steady on the stone aisle.
Good afternoon. You must be the unannounced guests.
What? We are here for the senator.
Of course. How many in your party? I need to adjust the seating.
6. Wait, why does that matter?
Patricia nodded and tapped her tablet. I have just the table for you, she said. The Hexa squad exchanged uncertain looks, weapons still raised, but the moment of kill or be killed already slipping away. Patricia had 24 years of event planning under her belt. 3 royal weddings, a Vatican diplomatic reception, and a 600-person Mumbai ceremony during a blackout.
You think this is a game? Human? We will execute the senator and anyone who interferes.
No one will be executing anyone before the soup course. Kindly lower your voice. The bride is nervous enough already.
I'll put a hole through that tablet and your chest.
Stand down, sick. That's an order.
Senator Velcor and his security detail watched in stunned silence, their weapons half-drawn but useless against a woman with a seating chart.
Thank you. Now, I've allocated you table 14 between Aunt Carolyn and the open bar. Follow me, please.
Why is this human not afraid? No one has ever looked at me and seen a seating problem.
The Hexus squad, conditioned to expect panic and blood, found their target already walking away, expecting them to follow like late guests. And they did.
Keep up, gentlemen. The bar won't stay open if we miss the seating window.
They followed her into the reception tent, where fairy lights and sage linens glimmered beneath the high canvas ceiling.
You are taking us to a dinner table? Are you insane?
Table 14 has a lovely view of the sunset, and the bar is just steps away.
Her voice has no tremor. She speaks as if we brought the wrong invitation.
At the table, a silver-haired woman in a floral dress was already seated, sipping wine and smiling.
More guests. I was afraid I'd be alone at the fun table. Please, don't be shy.
We are not here to eat. We are here for the senator.
Yes, but the bartender makes an excellent Negroni. Perhaps a drink while we sort out the appetizers.
Zek, be silent. She's given us a table. I want to see where this goes.
So the Hexa squad remained standing behind their chairs at table 14, weapons lowered but still in hand, waiting for a signal that never came. Patricia reached into her blazer and withdrew a small white card, the calligraphy crisp. She extended it toward the Hexus commander.
For you, Commander. Your place card. You'll find your seat at table 14.
Vex Kor took the card with a clawed hand. He stared at the letters. Vex Kor, table 14. His breath caught.
No one has ever written my name on anything except a kill order.
You are between Aunt Carolyn and the open bar. I need to know before the soup course, chicken or the vegetarian option.
The Hexus squad turned to watch their commander, weapons hanging limp. Zek's mouth opened, but no threat came out.
Chicken. I will have chicken.
Patricia simply nodded and made a note on her tablet, the digital seating chart updating with his preference.
Excellent choice. The chicken here is lovely. I had it at the rehearsal dinner.
Vex Kor's yellow-white eyes glistened. The card trembled in his grip, and the Hexus squad fell silent, uncertain of the enemy they now faced.
Please, take your seats, gentlemen. The first course will be out shortly.
Vex Kor, still clutching the place card, lowered himself into the chair beside Aunt Carolyn. The other Hexus soldiers followed his lead.
Oh, you must be Vexcor. Patricia told me you'd be joining. I am Carolyn Fairmont, but everyone calls me Aunt Carolyn.
Yes. I was not expecting to be here.
This is absurd. We should be...
Hush, dear, you'll upset the seating arrangement. Now, Vexcor, do you like gardens? The vineyard here has the most divine roses.
Everything is on schedule. Senator, please enjoy your dinner.
Patricia's tablet updated. Table 14, now occupied. The senator's security, still tense, watched the impossible dinner unfold.
I met my husband at a wedding, 42 years ago. He said I laughed at the wrong bouquet toss.
Vex Kor could not look away from the old woman. Her words were so simple, so irrelevant to his mission. And yet he found himself listening. The waitstaff materialized at table 14, placing steaming plates before each armored guest.
What is this? It looks organic.
Herb-crusted salmon, sourced sustainably. The chicken is free-range and roasted with Tuscan herbs.
She describes food like a mission briefing. I have never heard a commander speak of chicken.
Vex Kor lifted his fork and took a bite. The flavor hit him. He closed his eyes, and a tear traced a path down his green cheek.
Oh, you poor thing, is it too spicy?
Number, it is. I have never eaten anything that was not a survival ration. This is. I have no word for this.
Then you must have more, and you must tell me about your home. Did you have a garden?
No garden. I drew flowers when I was small. Before the training camp, they punished that.
Zek watched his commander break open. With a frustrated grunt, he stabbed his salmon and took a bite. The Hex's squad, one by one, followed and the weapons stayed on the table. As the main course plates were cleared, Senator Velcor rose from his seat, lifting a crystal glass filled with golden Prosecco.
Friends, honored guests, and those who arrived with unscheduled enthusiasm, thank you for being here tonight.
He is including us. He is toasting our presence. No one has ever done this.
Around the table, several Hexus soldiers shifted uncomfortably, their claws still resting near uneaten bread rolls. Zek's jaw tightened.
And a special commendation to our wedding planner, Patricia Hartley, who has once again rearranged the impossible.
Go on, dear. Raise your glass. You are part of this now.
Yes, I will.
Vex Kor stood. The place card was still in his other hand. He raised his glass, and the 6 Hexus assassins, one by one, lifted theirs.
Table 14, fully compliant. Next, the bouquet toss.
The toast concluded, and the band struck up a slow waltz. The senator sat down, but many eyes remained on table 14, waiting for the next impossible move. The waltz swelled, and Aunt Carolyn rose from her chair, extending a hand toward the Hexus commander.
Come, Vex Kor. Every gentleman should know how to waltz.
I have faced plasma fire without flinching. Why does this small woman's hand terrify me?
He let her lead him onto the polished wood, his heavy boots scuffing as he tried to mirror her delicate steps.
Just follow my feet. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You are doing wonderfully.
She is smiling at me like I am not a weapon, like I am a person.
Across the floor, a young human bridesmaid approached Zek, laughing, and pulled him into the dance without asking.
This is absurd. I am a soldier, not a...
One by one, the Hexus squad found themselves partnered and spinning, their armored forms awkward but undeniably present in the swirl of silk and starlight.
Perfect. The schedule is intact.
As the final song faded, Patricia approached the senator with her tablet, the evening's ledger neatly tabulated.
Senator, here is the final invoice. 40,000 for the base package, plus 6,000 for unplanned guest table arrangements.
Unplanned guest arrangements. Ah, the Hexus squad, worth every credit.
He transferred the funds with a chuckle, the tension of the day dissolving into incredulous laughter.
Patricia, you are a miracle worker. I don't know how you did it.
Just seating, Senator. Everyone deserves a good seat.
Meanwhile, the Hexus squad, still clutching their place cards, began to drift toward the vineyard's edge, their mission a distant memory.
Thank you, Carolyn, for the dance, for everything.
You take care, dear, and if you ever want to talk about gardens, you know where to find me.
The squad disappeared under the trellis, leaving behind only empty glasses and the faint scent of alien adrenaline, but the wedding continued perfectly on schedule. At the vineyard's edge, Vex Kor stopped. His squad was already boarding the transport, but he turned back into the party. He found Carolyn near the dessert table, folding a napkin as if she'd been expecting him.
Vex Kor. I was hoping you'd ask. My villa is just a few kilometers away in Montepulciano. Here, let me write it down, and my com number. I do love a good garden chat.
She scribbled on a napkin and pressed it into his hand, along with the ink pen.
I will come. I don't know when, but I will come.
Aboard the Hexus ship, he sat alone in his bunk, staring at the place card and the napkin. He sent a single message to command: I will not return. By dawn, the Hexus Liberation Front had fired him, his name purged from every record. The place card and the napkin were all that remained of his old life. He walked down the gangplank onto the same Tuscan soil, a free man with only a baker's address in his pocket. 3 months later, a small storefront in Montepulciano opened its doors. The sign read Carolyn and Vex Core Patisserie.
Our first customers. Smile, dear. You are a baker now.
I am not sure my teeth are reassuring. Should I draw a flower on the pastry box instead? Here, small human. This is called a cornetto. It is friendly.
Carolyn taught him to knead. He learned dough had memory, that it pushed back and then gave way, unlike plasma steel.
My hands are for violence. Why does this feel like they were made for flour?
The bakery prospered. Locals came for the novelty, stayed for the pastries, and soon stopped noticing the green hands that served them. But not everyone forgot. On a rain-slicked evening, a figure in dark armor paused outside the window. Lieutenant Zek stared for a long minute, then walked away, leaving only mist. Inside, the place card from that impossible wedding hung on the wall, unstained by rain. One damp morning, a cloaked figure pushed open the patisserie door, shaking rain from a simple traveler's coat.
One croissant, please. And if you have a moment, a word.
Senator, I did not expect you to come here.
I had to. My daughter's wedding was the most extraordinary day of my life. You were a part of it.
I was there to take you hostage. I don't understand.
Yet you danced with Aunt Carolyn. You ate our food. You raised a glass. You didn't have to, but you did.
She asked if I wanted chicken. No one had ever asked me anything. I just wanted a seat.
The senator placed a small credit chit on the counter. It was worth more than the bakery, though Vex Core didn't know it yet.
Consider it a wedding gift to the baker who chose peace.
Vex Core watched the door swing shut, then looked at the place card on the wall. For the first time, it felt like a home. A week later, a simple envelope arrived at Patricia's office. No return address, just a wax seal. Inside, a photograph of the Carolyn and Vex Core Patisserie and a handwritten card. The card read, "Thank you for the seat. It changed everything." Patricia allowed herself a small smile, then filed it away with the event records. 3 months later, a Hexus squad attempted an identical operation at a corporate conference in Geneva. The event planner on duty, a young woman named Clara, simply handed them a seating chart and pointed to the coffee station. The Hexus squad, bewildered, took their seats. The keynote speaker didn't pause. Galactic news networks picked up the story. The term hospitality defense began trending. In the Hexus command center, a furious commander watched the footage and deleted the mission file. The Galactic Council's diplomatic committee took note and began drafting a formal addition to its protocols. The Galactic Council formally convened on the matter of hostile ceremonial intrusions. The document read, Section 67D, when attempting hostile operations on Earth's ceremonial events, expect to be reseated. The measure passed unanimously, with Senator Velcour adding his signature among the first. In the bakery, Carolyn had propped a small hollow screen on the counter, the news feed flickering.
Look at that. Vex Core. A whole law, just from a place card.
I just wanted a seat.
Carolyn reached over and squeezed his hand, her thin fingers wrapping around his claw. They watched the feed together, the bakery silent except for the hum of the oven. The place card on the wall caught the light, a small monument to an unlikely peace. Outside, the Tuscan hills settled into dusk, as they had for centuries. In the Galactic Senate, Senator Velcour presented Patricia Hartley with a civilian diplomacy star for her unparalleled service.
Thank you, Senator. It was simply a matter of seating.
She hung the medal on her office wall beside a photograph of the Carolyn and Vex Core patisserie. In Montepulciano, the bakery now had a regular line of diplomatic vehicles parked outside.
Carolyn, why are there 3 ambassadors in my bakery?
They heard about the chicken, dear. Smile.
Vex Core framed a newspaper clipping, Baker's Peace, the pastry that ended a hostage crisis, and hung it beside the place card. Carolyn baked a towering celebration cake, and the diplomatic corps toasted with espresso as the afternoon sun streamed in. From her office, overlooking another vineyard, Patricia opened a new seating chart and began assigning tables for a royal galactic wedding. The Tuscan hills remained unchanged, and so did her composure. After the ambassadors had gone, and the espresso cups were washed, Vex Core sat alone with Carolyn in the quiet bakery.
Do you know what I remember most about that day? It was when the human in the beige blazer asked if I wanted chicken. They expected a weapon to answer. She expected a dinner guest.
In that instant, the entire architecture of his life cracked open.
I had never been offered a choice. Every order was a command until that moment.
And you chose chicken, and it was the bravest thing you'd ever done.
Yes, but it was not the chicken. It was being seen as someone who could choose.
You were always that someone, dear. You just needed a seat.
She reached across the table and took his hand. They sat like that until the street lamps flickered on outside. The place card on the wall caught the last light of dusk, unchanged. At the Interstellar Event Planning Conference, hundreds of species gathered to learn the secrets of Terran hospitality. Senator Velcor himself, the subject of the famous wedding, introduced the keynote speaker with a broad smile.
Please welcome the woman who taught the galaxy that a place card can be more powerful than a plasma rifle.
Thank you, Senator. I'll keep this brief. At my weddings, everyone deserves a good seat. Next question.
The hall went silent for 3 heartbeats. Then, applause thundered through the chamber. Delegates from 100 worlds rose to their feet, clapping for a philosophy that had disarmed a hostage squad. Patricia nodded once, collected her tablet, and walked off the stage without ceremony. Behind her, the giant screen displayed a single image, the place card from Table 14. She did not look back. 3 years later, Patricia Hartley stood in the opulent hall of the Royal Galactic Wedding, a ceremony uniting 2 star nations. A junior planner, newly assigned, approached her with a trembling tablet and asked the question everyone wondered.
Not when the seating chart is correct.
She tapped a few names into her tablet, adjusted a table of visiting dignitaries, and the wedding proceeded without a single disruption. In Montepulciano, the Carolyn and Vex Core patisserie was closing for the day. Vex Core was kneading a batch of tomorrow's cornetti, flour dusting his green arms.
The dough remembers the hands. I remember the seat.
Carolyn, sitting by the window, looked up from her book and smiled.
You are humming again, dear. That's new.
On the wall, the place card from Table 14 did not reply. It didn't need to. The news broke quietly. The Hexus Liberation Front had disbanded its ceremonial operations unit. Repeated resignations made further missions untenable. The order came from the highest echelon. Too many operatives had chosen pastry and peace over plasma rifles. Lieutenant Zek, now out of armor, pushed open the door of the patisserie. He wore a simple civilian coat.
1 espresso. And one of those cornetti. You're always shaping.
Zek. He has been coming every week.
Vex Core nodded. Zek nodded back. No mention of the past. The Hexus Front's ceremonial unit was officially closed. Its mission logs erased one by one. The former operatives found their way to Tuscany. A new unit was forming, but its weapons were espresso and dough.
You were right. You know about the chicken.
Vex Core wiped his hands on his apron. The place card on the wall remained silent, a witness to an impossible peace. Another vineyard, another wedding. Patricia walked the rows, checking every place setting before the guests arrived. She paused at the head table and looked out at the setting sun. The light was golden, exactly like that other evening. For a heartbeat, the image of a small white card flickered through her mind. Vex Core, Table 14. She remembered the weight of it in her hand, the trembling claw that took it. That had been a seating problem, nothing more. But the galaxy had made it into something else. She allowed herself a small, private smile. Then she turned back to her tablet. The seating chart was almost perfect. The first guests were arriving. She had work to do. The place card, wherever it now hung, would do its own work. She did not look back at the sunset. In the Galactic Senate chambers, a small glass case held the original place card from Table 14. It had become an artifact of diplomacy, a reminder that even an assassin could be disarmed by an invitation. Beside it, the signed protocol, Section 67D, shown on a holographic display. Senator Velcor lifted the framed card for the assembly to see.
This small card taught the galaxy a simple truth. Every being deserves a seat.
In Montepulciano, the Carolyn and Vex Corps patisserie remained open, the scent of cornetti filling the evening air. On the bakery wall, a copy of the place card hung beside a photograph of a dance. Vex Corps, in his apron, wiped flour from his hands and looked out at the Tuscan hills. And somewhere, Patricia Hartley adjusted a seating chart. Still not panicking, the Tuscan sun melted into the hills, a ribbon of gold fading to twilight. One by one, the village lights came on, and among them the bakery's warm glow. Vex Corps stood at the window, the scent of fresh cornetti drifting around him. He smiled, not because the war was over, but because the morning dough would need him. And somewhere, Patricia Hartley opened a new event file. The columns already perfect, she pinned her headset and stepped into the hall, ready for anything and nothing. The place card from Table 14 had become a relic, a story told in galactic halls. But in the end, it was just a seat. Just an invitation, just a choice that rippled from a Tuscan vineyard to the stars. And Patricia walked on, still not panicking.